of the page. Google Travel is an app. So if you go up here, this is a Google account. I have my Google account. This is the Google account related to GetSetUp for me. You know, these little 9 dots here, the waffle show you all the Google apps that there are you can use, okay? And one of them is called Travel. So there's no Google Flights app in and of itself. So Google Flights is under Google Travel. And these are all the things you can do under Google Travel. You can fly in hotels, vacation rentals, tours and things to do, or just explore. So I always get to Google Flights typically by just going either to Google Travel, or I just put in a search engine, Google Flights, and I find myself here. So this is what you're looking for, is Google Flights. Right off the bat, like most search engines or rental sites, you know, you've got your where you're going from where to where and your dates, and you can start searching. And we'll do that in a second with Google Flights. But I want to show you just some other things. It's got Charlottesville as my home airport. That's because it just knows where I am, and it defaulted to show me the cheapest flight from Charlottesville. But so anyway, it's from Charlottesville to New York, to Chicago, to Miami. These are all those 3 places right there on the map. I can go in any time when I'm searching and put in a different airport of origin, but it defaults that. There's actually one closer than that, but it doesn't really, has 3 flights a day, Shenandoah Valley, not worth much. Up here are listed are flights I'm tracking right now. So for example, Washington to Portland, Oregon is one I've been watching. That is in May, and it's just keeping an, it's got March. This has got a March date in there. It's just showing me some dates coming up in March 362. So once you save a flight and you want to have it track it for you, you get a notification by email, but you can also see it right here. So here, for example, is a recent one I've been searching for, which is going to Florence from Washington. It's just got some dates in March right there. If I wanted to put in some different dates, you know, maybe I wanted to go April 10th, that's actually where I'm going, and come back May 1st, you know, it would tell me this set of dates right there. So that's the kind of thing. But again, we're not going to get distracted there. That's just showing you that there's some flights it's tracking for me. And I'll show you that in the course of this today. But back here, let's go all the way back to where I was. Okay. Let me first show you what I call the dream mode that Google Flights is good for. So you've got this stuff down here. Okay. So it's got some current decent prices. New York. So this is March 28th, April 1st. So I want to go to New York for $118 round trip. That's a pretty good price. And I can also just click on a map of the world, and it'll just know I'm leaving from Charlottesville, one trip in the next 6 months, and I can just search the world. Okay. So if I want to imagine going to Europe in the next 6 months, I can go put this out here. I can expand it to the world. Here we go. All right. So London, Lisbon, Rome, Athens, all those places are on there. Now, that's just in the next 6 months. All right. If I want to know, well, hey, Jim, I'm seeing a really good price to London, I can go up here and I can hover over that and click on it, and it'll tell me right now, those are May 9th to May 18th. It'll give me that's a good price right there for that little itinerary. But let's say I want to be, so that's just, this is just kind of anything, anywhere in the world, sometime in the next 6 months, a 1-week trip. But let's say I want to be a little more specific. I'm thinking, I want to go somewhere in May. Okay. So I go down here and I say, no, I want to go in May, and I want to go for 2 weeks. Now I changed my search. I filtered it. Now it's giving me some different options. All right. It's still thinking. You can see how it's changing its prices there. Still got a good deal to go to New York. Still got a fairly decent deal to go to Seattle. Well, that's pretty expensive to Seattle. Again, this is from Charlottesville. So that's not always the easiest airport to leave from because there's limited flights. So I'm going to give Google a little more options. I'm going to give it some options out of Dulles Airport. All right. So now it's going to show me some different options from Dulles Airport. Well, there's London for $397. That's a pretty good price. I click on that one. It's got dates here, May into June. Wow. Iceland Air, that's pretty darn cheap. If I want to go to Lisbon, it's 425, May 12th to May 25th. If I want to go for 13 days, this is prices are currently high for your trip. Wow. That's interesting. I would have thought that's pretty darn high. Look, there have been prices that have been even lower. Wow, that's amazing. There's a Lufthansa flight. I find that incredible. They consider $425 to be high. Now, let's say I'm thinking, well, actually, I do want to go. I do kind of know where I want to go. I want to go to Italy. So now I can zoom in here and it can give me Rome for $565, May 1st to May 15th. That's a pretty darn good price. That's going to be Royal Air Morocco or Morocco. I've never even heard of this airline. Wow, what is Royal Air Morocco? That is a new one. $565, one stop. It's going to go to, I see. It's taking me somewhere in the Middle East, Mohammed V International Airport. Okay. And that's a really long flight because I'm going to go, actually, it's not that long. It's about 15 hours. Okay. If I want to go by Swiss Air, 765, United's going to be 977. Anyway, this is just how you can start to dream. And then this is useful when you're thinking about a trip, about times to go. And prices are currently high for the trip. Okay, they're saying 565 is high, which still surprises me. There's Berlin. I'm not interested in going to Moscow these days. That's not a very good idea. Bergen in Norway. And let me just show you something else I can do. I can go up here and say, well, I don't have to leave from Dulles Airport. I can just put in Washington because there's 3 airports. A 2-week trip in May, it might give me some different options. So here's one to go to London, May 8th to 21st on Play Airlines. That's kind of one I'm looking for. That's a new airline. Let's click on that guy. And there we go, $352, 10 hours. It's going to be one stop. That's going to be in Keflavik Airport in Iceland. This is a new airline that's just been formed in the last year, Play, and I've read good things about it, so I wouldn't necessarily hesitate to take it. There's Iceland Air. So Play leaves from, the reason I stuck that in there is they leave from Baltimore Washington Airport. That gives you a few more options. Now, that's the dream mode in what I call the dream mode in Google Flights. You want to go somewhere, you have some general ideas, and you then can zero in on it by changing your destination and by beginning to put in some more parameters. 1 week in the next 6 months, I can change that to 2 weeks. And maybe I decide what time I want to go actually is July. All right. And let's just see. I'm really curious right now, very curious. If I wanted to go to Europe in July, what would it cost me? Still dirt cheap prices, in my opinion. Okay. Lisbon 407, Paris 508, Berlin 518. Pretty cheap prices. Dublin 493. Okay. So let me go back now to Google Flights. Let me just ask any questions about this dream mode. And this comes about because Google Flights knows where I'm